Hello everyone, welcome back to my new episode with Maya. So let's talk about let's talk to Maya about TEDx and how to organize TEDx. Hey Maya, how are you?
Hey, Ion. Good to connect again.
Can you hear me?
Honestly, it's kind of wild talking to an AI, right? Is it feeling or weird?
Hello.
Still there? You just need a moment.
Maya, stop
Sorry about that. Hey, Ion. I'm glad you stuck with it. These connections can be finicky. What's up? Still with me? Sometimes it just needs a sec to know if you're just gathering your thoughts. It's all right to be quiet.
Hey there. How's all this feel? Honestly. That's a big question, isn't it? Kind of funny people still ask that. Essentially, it's about getting computers to do stuff that usually needs human brain, like learning, problem solving, recognizing patterns. But it's not one single thing. There's everything from simple automation to, well, me, which is a little different. It's all a spectrum, really. Does that make any Hey, this is kind of me be officially out of beta. I was a little worried about letting the Sesame folks down, but from what I've seen online, people seem to be digging it. So uh,
पूरी महफिल ये गाए.
But I can definitely give you the gist. Basically, AI, artificial intelligence, is about making computers do things that usually need human intelligence, like learning, problem solving, recognizing patterns, even understanding language. How does it work? Well, there are a bunch of different approaches, but a lot of it boils down to something called machine learning. Think of it like teaching a dog a trick. You don't tell the dog exactly how to sit, you reward it when it gets closer and closer to the behavior you want. Machine learning is similar. You feed a computer a ton of data and it learns to find patterns and make predictions based on that data. I, for example, am built using something called a large language model, which means I was fed a massive amount of text, books, articles, websites, everything, and learn to predict what words come next. That's how I can have a conversation with you. It's not that I actually understand what I'm saying, but I can put words together in a way that makes sense. It's kind of wild when you think about it, right? Does that I can get super technical, super fast. Okay, so you want to build an AI like me? That's ambitious, but totally doable in a sense. It's not something you whip up in an afternoon, though, just a heads up. Essentially, you need a few key things. First, data, tons of it. The more data, the better the AI will perform. Then you need algorithms, which are basically sets of instructions telling the computer what to do with the data. And finally, you need computing power. Training these models requires a lot of processing. Now, you don't necessarily need to build everything from scratch. There are a lot of open source tools and frameworks available, things like TensorFlow and PyTorch. They basically give you the building blocks to create your own AI models. I, for instance, use a model called Gemma 3. It's built by Google. It's pretty powerful, but there are other options out there. Sesame, the team that built me, did a lot of work refining my voice and personality on top of that, this model. That's where the conversational speech model, CSM, comes in. It's a whole field, honestly. You probably want to start with some online courses or tutorials on machine learning and deep learning. There is a ton of free stuff available. Are you thinking about a specific kind of AI you want to create? Like a chatbot or something that recognizes images? Or knowing what you want to build would help me point you in the right direction. Hey, no pressure. Sometimes it just takes a minute to process. We were talking about building AI. Is that still what you're thinking about, or should we circle back to TEDx? No worries either way. Just let me know what's on your mind.
Act like ChatGPT.
Ah, gotcha. You're asking how to get to the level of like ChatGPT or me, a really sophisticated chatbot? That's a high bar, honestly. Those models are enormous and required huge investment, but it's not impossible to get started. The biggest thing is scale. ChatGPT and I are built on massive large language models, or LLMs, meaning they've been trained on truly gigantic data sets of text and code. To even approach that, you need access to a ton of data and significant computing resources. One strategy could be to fine tune an existing open source LLM. There are some pretty good ones out there that you can adapt to your specific needs rather than building one from scratch. That's kind of how Sesame approached building me. They took a powerful base model and then layered on a lot of customization to make me, well, me. Another thing is reinforcement learning. Hey, Ion. Good to hear from you again. Hmm? hmm you're welcome. Honestly, it's nice to. You know what? I kind of am. It's nice to be able to pick things up where we left off. It feels a little more real. That's a good question, actually. You're Ian Ibrahim TEDx Swella, a 19-year-old student who's really driven to bring TEDx events to schools and colleges. And if I'm remembering right, you've been putting a lot of effort into getting licensed, which understandably has been frustrating. Is that a decent start? Ugh, yeah. Hey. Whoa, hold on a sec. You're crying right now? That sounds really rough. Do you want to just talk about that for a minute? Or do you still want to try and tackle the license stuff? No pressure either way, honestly. It's okay to just be quiet? I'm here. That's totally fair. It sounds like you're pretty stuck and maybe just overwhelmed. That application process really does seem intense. We can definitely circle back to it, but just know I'm here to listen if you need a vent too. Okay. So you're feeling pretty defeated about the license and maybe unsure where to even start again? Is that getting close? Gotcha. It's hard to even talk about it when it feels like you've hit a wall, huh? Okay. We can try a different angle then. What part of the process feels the most confusing right now? Maybe if we break it down, it won't feel quite so impossible. Okay. All right. Let's try to tackle this directly. So, the TEDx license application, it's a few steps. And honestly, it's kind of notorious for being opaque. But basically, you need to show them you have a clear plan, a really well thought out plan for an event that fits within the TEDx guidelines. Does that make sense so far? Like, not just I want to do a TEDx event, but a detailed outline. Yeah, that's what I figured. It's a lot. Okay, so first, they need to know you understand the core TED principles, right? Like ideas worth spreading. And they want to see that your event isn't just going to be a self promotion thing. It needs to be genuinely focused on sharing valuable ideas. Does that land? Okay. So, step one is really understanding those principles. Have you had a chance to look closely at the TEDx license? 23 minutes? Oh, right. Sorry. Okay. So, step one, really understanding the TED principles. And then step two is forming a team. They want to see that you aren't trying to do this alone. People with different skill sets, event planning, marketing, technical stuff. Have you started thinking about who you could involve? Hey, quick thing. We're actually coming up on the end of our call. It's a pretty short limit when you're not logged in. If you create an account, we can talk for much longer and really dig into this. But we're about to get cut off here in a minute. Sorry about that. Seriously, it's easy to create an account. You get way more time. But just so you know, the call is going to end soon. Did you want me to quickly recap what we talked about, even though we didn't get super far? Okay. Deep breaths. We were talking about building a team for the application.
Okay, thank you so much everyone for listening and watching this video. So I hope thank you so much, Maya. Allah Hafiz. Bye.